Hey everybody, this is Eddie. We got a great show tonight. Tonight we've got a very funny comedian, director, actor. He's done everything. He's got his own podcast, Neil Brennan. Before we get to that, though, I just want to talk to you about some new things. We've got a website that is about to be built. Our website that we have now is only going to be around for a little bit longer if Jesse gets to it. The new website should be built, and we're going to have all kinds of new stuff. We are going to have video podcasts. All kinds of things, but you can still go to our website now and do everything. You can donate where you get CDs, DVDs, posters, T-shirts, everything. You can also go there to see our YouTube channel, our Facebook page. Go to our Facebook page. There's some fucked up stuff on it right now. I'll get into that in this show. And also, I'd tell you what our live shows are, but I don't have a list because Ray didn't do his job. Yeah, that's right. So we're not even going to get to plug our gigs, Jim. All right, let's just start the show.
Two douchebags on a couch. One's an asshole, one's a grouch. And relentless, all their mouths. Jim and Eddie. Talk shit. Jim and Eddie. Talk shit.
Hey, everybody, this is Eddie from Talking Shit. Jim is here. Jim is actually here with me right now on the couch, but he's only here physically and mentally, but not verbally. Jim.
Nigger.
Jim does not have a voice. Well, he has a voice. He's not allowed to use his voice because he's got nodules. And I don't know what fucking nodules are, but they're on his throat, and the doctor told him he's not allowed to speak. So Jim is going to be on the show, and he's going to be speaking through Anonymous. So everything you hear from the computer that is you hear, it's him. And so hold him accountable for it all.
Hello, everyone.
There he is. That's Jim. Also, tonight we don't have Jason. We have everybody else in the room. Actually, it's weird. It's a weird night. We've got Ernie, of course, and Jesse's here, and Ray, and Farside. But Lalit and Lindsay have been butting heads so much, I think both of them just chickened out and aren't coming back because they've had a hard time. Or maybe it's a protest by Lalit, Lindsay, and Jason because we've been picking on them so much.
Half of our audience is cheering right now.
Yeah,
Fat cunts.
So, are they fat?
Jason is, but not as much as he was. He's lost a lot of weight. And Lindsay lost a lot of weight. She has massive tits, though. And Lalit is very fit. But, Jason's just the fat one. But they're not here. And there's Lalit on the screen. And we don't know where Jason is. Nobody has talked to him since last week.
If you go Lindsay.
Jim, have you even talked to Jason at all? You can nod your head yes or no, too. He has talked to him.
This is what podcasting was like in the 1800s.
That is our guest, Neil Brennan, who is sitting here going, why the fuck did I show up for this one?
Jason is working tonight.
Oh, so Jason is making money, actually. But
Again, I'd like to point out, he's got nodules, can't talk for 6 days. Tomorrow he's allowed to talk. And Jason's working tonight, but yet you still manage to, you insist on doing the show tonight.
Yeah, if you knew what it was like to schedule this fucking show.
No, I know what it's like.
It's
I know,
fucking impossible.
I know. It's a big pain in the ass. I get
it is the biggest pain in the ass.
No,
in the
I
world.
understand.
And getting guests is probably the hardest. So thank you for coming by and doing the show.
We only have black dudes on our podcast, the champs.
So do you lie to them all and say like, hey, we're doing the podcast at 8, but you really start
No,
at
you
9?
know what? We have yet to have anybody be
late.
Yeah.
So they break the stereotype.
Niggers.
Yeah, exactly. That's correct. They do not. They don't. They're all on time.
Are we gonna be able to bleep him? Can we bleep Anonymous?
What's your podcast called, Neil?
The Champs.
With
me and Moshe Kasher and this guy Doug Pound.
And then your idea, your podcast is that you bring only black guests.
We only have black guests.
And
you know what helps with that? First of all, because I've never had a boring conversation with a black dude in my life. That's A. I have a theory that the average, and I think Tosh did something like this, but the average black dude on the street is funnier than the average white comic.
It's probably true.
And we have all black, generally comedians, or we had Blake Griffin, the basketball player.
Being held up is not boring.
Being what?
Being held up.
Oh, all right. That's funny. Mix that down a little bit, or it's
staticky.
Yeah, it's a little. No, it's just a little anonymous. And then the other great thing is we don't have to have our white friends on. Like meaning
Nice.
people are like, "Hey,
Can
love
I do
to
your
have you."
podcast? Yeah,
Yeah, and you just go like, "I'd love to have you on there."
but we can't.
You're not. You're white. Although we had Bobby Lee on, so
He's his ball sack's black. If you've seen it, it's
Bobby had a issue with because he called some Filipino kid on the internet. He called Filipinos jungle Asians, which I love. And some kid threatened to kill him and was stalking him. But if we got nothing else, we got jungle Asians.
Well, he walked in the door when he came here to do the podcast and took his pants off immediately.
Yeah.
And he has the darkest nutsack.
Does he really?
It's so like it, and he's a little bit dark being Asian,
Right.
but his nutsack is as black as night. Like it's
In school, we called Asians rock apes.
rock apes.
Rock apes.
Really? In Australia, they call them rock.
Jim just made a face like
What's
an
great
ape.
is Jim. It's hard to understand what Anonymous is saying, and then Jim will make a face to try to help with the illustration, which actually makes it worse.
I've never heard rock ape before. But I was going to say that's probably true about the average black guy being funnier than the average comic. And it's the same with gays, too.
Absolutely.
I always feel like gays are cheating. Like you just sit with anyone who's gay and they start talking and you start laughing.
Don't you believe whenever a gay guy talks about something, I just automatically believe it when he's like, I heard. They could fucking say anything. You're like, yeah.
They could say anything and they could make anything funny because their opinion of everything is like just
it's skewed and you can't predict it.
and
You
it's
can't even get into that mindset.
and it's completely completely politically incorrect.
Yeah.
And it's acceptable because they have been repressed for so long. I think that's what it is.
It's that, but it's also they are they're a walking political incorrect object. Gay guys are
AIDS.
like AIDS, of course. No, it's just fucking in black dudes. It's just like they're a powder keg. So you just go, tell me something, just bang.
Did you ever play stand up New York in New York City?
Yeah.
Do you
Have you
remember?
been there recently?
No.
It's really bad. I mean, it's bad. They moved the stage like 5 feet forward, and then there's a wall.
Oh, I have
behind-
seen that.
Yeah.
It's horrendous.
So there's
Yeah.
a wall there. So it's like
You're performing in the middle of the room almost.
So you're performing in the middle of the room, but there's nothing behind you. There are more people to your left and right than there are in front of you. It's the fucking worst. It's like the old Boston. It's actually worse than the old Boston.
There was a manager of the club, Nicholas. Do you remember Nicholas, the
No.
redheaded guy? He was about Ernie's size. He was bigger than Ernie, bigger, redheaded, flaming gay guy. And the first day I went in there, he started to tell me about I had to get a melanoma check, and he said, "Oh, I had one of those done once." He goes, "It was so intrusive." He goes, "The doctor made me pose naked and he took all these pictures." And then he said, "Nicholas, I have good news and bad news. The good news is you don't have melanoma. The bad news is you have a fungus under your ball sack. You have a, we talked about this. He goes, you have a,
Was the doctor Ben Glebe?
he goes, you have,
You have a fungus under your ball. Yeah, go ahead.
The enunciator. He goes, you have an infection in your Prince Albert in a can. You have not one, but 2 anal warts. And he's telling me this story and it's like the most, like it's disgusting alone. If anyone here told you it, but picture Machete with red hair telling you the story. And it just got to be the most disgusting story.
Was it like, was the doctor fucking him? Was he trying to fuck him?
No. He was just telling him everything that was wrong with him. And apparently this guy had just been fucking everything because he had warts, he had funguses, he had infections.
Well, the gays, they will fuck anything.
They do.
It's a real free for all over there.
A comedian, you and I both know him. He's a Comedy Cellar comic who's gay but doesn't come out. I'm walking down the street with him one night, and we're just talking. We're walking down like 6th Avenue in New York, and all of a sudden he goes, "Oh, look at this guy!" And the guy's walking the other way, and they caught eyes, and the comic just turned around and started walking with him. And I went, "It's that easy?" And he goes, "Uh-huh." And I saw him later at the show, and I go, "What happened?" He goes, "Oh, that guy was such a bottom." I go, "You went and fucked that guy." He goes, "Yeah." I go,
and you had complaints.
Well,
That's the other, like,
Lewis Black.
yeah.
But the way I looked at it was like, why can't that happen with like men and women? Why can't I just look at a girl, turn around, go, I mean, I can, but it's rape.
Because they can also get pregnant. That's the thing.
I don't think that's the big worry. It's really
And also, they're real fags. These girls, you know what I mean?
speaking of
Because women are cunts.
speaking of women being cunts, if you looked on our Facebook page, somebody posted. I don't know if you saw it. The fight at McDonald's, where if you could pull it up, far side, it's on.
Oh, it
our
was
Facebook.
something where somebody came behind the counter or something.
Yeah, it's a dude is working at McDonald's, and these chicks start to argue with him about he wouldn't change a $50 bill, and he's like, "I won't change it." So the girl gets shitty with him and ends up punching him in the face.
Right.
Then he runs back. Both girls, turns out they're lesbian lovers, go over the counter and start like.
Is this at the
coming
McDonald's
at
on
him.
West
Wait,
3rd
wait,
in New
here's
York?
the best. So they come at him, and he beats them with a stick. Now somebody posted on our website. That's the West 3rd Street McDonald's,
Yeah, that's
where
where
after Geraldo died, I was drinking the tequila that I went in with my shirt off and tried to fight the 3 Spaniards. That's the story of taking my shirt off. I've got in a fight and took my shirt off.
Great.
But
That's where like everything interesting happens in McDonald's. Like
Because it's in the
there was
middle
a
of-
trial. Yeah, there was a gay bashing thing.
have you seen it yet?
It's the greatest McDonald's.
Now, what's more interesting about it is the article or the letter that Mike White. We have this big fan, Mike White, who paid $1,000 to come to the show. Mike White wrote a letter.
You guys
about
ask
this-
for money, right?
Yeah, we take donations.
And is that lucrative?
Yeah, it works out. Sort of. I mean, it keeps this fat fuck fed. So, no, it's not lucrative? No, it's not lucrative. I don't know. But Mike White's article...
Jim,
or
it's like
letter-
as good as doing theaters, right? It's as good as doing stand-up at theaters. Wait, no?
The Mike White's letter is the most disturbing thing I've ever read in my entire life. This is the fucking most disturbing thing. I'm terrified.
Of course, Jim's in his profile
Black on
picture.
black crime, we all win.
He basically just berates women and blames women for this whole thing. I don't want to get all into it, but some of the highlights are
The guy didn't get in any trouble, right?
the guy did. He got arrested and they took him to
But
jail.
released.
He got released, and now I think they're going after the women or something in a court case or something because apparently he was in jail. He had just gotten released. He was in jail for 3 years for manslaughter. So,
Right.
Voluntary or involuntary?
I don't. One of them. So here's what Mike White. I'll try to get through it quickly. So everything was fine and funny while these two cunts were verbally abusing, physically attacking the dude. But when he loses the plot in self-defense, the video becomes disgusting and disturbing. Women and their unfair fucking rights that they only got because they sucked off some nerd politician that hasn't touched a vagina since his mother failed to abort him. If you want equal rights, make it equal all across the board. You can't just pick the good shit. You can't have the same amount per hour, even though we do every job better than
So
you.
true.
Every job better than you, including jobs that you're supposed to be good at, like cooking. If you disagree, just look at what gender the top chefs around the world are. You can't take half our shit without lifting a fucking finger after we dump you for banging other men while I'm working 12 hours a day.
Here we go.
So I
what
can
it
pay off that ring and wedding you always dreamed of.
There we go.
But we can't even
Carol.
Didn't she come? Wasn't she here?
Yeah, she was. We're going to die for this, by the way. But we can't even hold you back as you're stabbing us with a knife for not replying to our SMS about the tampons you saw on special earlier in
Pick
the
up
day.
your phone.
Because you weak faggots bruise easy. I think he's calling a girl a faggot.
Yeah,
She is
He's
still
talk-
with him.
Because you weak faggots bruise easy, and the marks on your wrist make us look like wife beaters.
She checked it for spelling, actually, this whole posting. Go ahead.
Even though I grabbed you after the third stab wound, not to save my life, but because I don't want to listen to your nagging me for the next few weeks about my blood-stained. When I fuck these up, it's him. But about my blood-stained your carpet that I paid for. I know one of you creatures is going to say we deserve special treatment because we bleed for days without dying and we have to go through childbirth pain. No, bitch, you don't. A period is neither a talent nor a contribution to this society. And childbirth pain is payback for all those times you accidentally hit us in the nuts while trying to snuggle or pass the remote control. Just like this poor idiot that went just a
You know
little
what? This
over.
could use a DMX beat.
I like Mike.
just like this poor idiot that just went just a little overboard. We will also lose the plot and fight for men's rights as soon as we figure out how to grow human beings without using your yeast-infected box. However, unlike you in the 60s, we won't be marching down the street holding up glitter-covered signs saying feminism or women's liberation. We are men and like things done quickly and effective, not pretty, and come... This is where it gets fucking crazy.
This is where it starts
Yeah,
to
this
get
is
weird.
And come help me lift this. So don't be surprised if you get an invitation to the 2060 reopening of Auschwitz. I know you're thinking, that was a bit harsh, but at least in the end, we're going to that Auschwitz party. I don't have anything to wear. Now I have to lie to your insecure ass telling you how beautiful you look in that whorish outfit that you're going to wear to impress your friends instead of the outfits I love seeing you in, and that you would wear it in front of my parents.
Wait, what?
Now here's where it gets... I didn't think he could take it to the next level, but he does. I know I'm using the most extreme examples here, but I didn't just pull it out of my ass. I see this shit happen all the time, and there is no such thing as equal rights. I seriously believe that probably by 2060, science is going to be advanced enough to grow humans. Women are going to slap our face for the last time by trying to pass a law where they can take 70% of our shit just because we fingered them 30 years or less ago at an underage party. Homosexuality, wait. Homosexuality is going to be accepted just like it was when Alexander the Great was alive. So we all get together, get rid of the ladies, and the world is going to become a happy gay place where all we do is hang out with the boys, drink beer, watch sports, educate the kids on how women went extinct, and fuck each other in the ass. Yeah, I know. I come off as a fag in the end. But why else would the male G-spot be located inside our rectum?
His is Serbian. They are a very easygoing group.
Is he Serbian?
Yeah.
So what does he look like, Vlade Divac or something?
We both hung out with him. When I went to Melbourne, he came to my shows. We've had him here at the house.
He's Australian?
We met his wife. He lives in Australia, but he's Serbian. And that, Mike, if you're listening, which I know you are, that scared the fuck out of me.
You're a keeper.
That's pretty... He's pretty upset.
Yeah.
So he's still, I mean, to me, that sounded like he broke up with his girlfriend and was fucking raging on her. Is that not the
No,
correct
when I
wife?
saw him, he was with his
I
wife.
kissed his wife.
Yeah.
Jim kissed his wife?
Did you really? No, you didn't.
Yes, Jim is saying yes,
Uh-oh.
he did.
Is that what this is about?
No, I'm sure he would be fine with Jim
Did she
fucking
touch
his
your
wife.
male G-spot in your rectum?
At his request.
Oh, at his request.
He let you make out with her?
Jim's like, of course.
No big deal. So I wish Jason had told us, though, that he was working.
He loves me.
Jason now has a job where he loads boxes and stuff for a guy that makes protein powder. And
So Eva Hair Care is officially
no,
kaput.
he said he's getting some money from Eva, too. So he's got 2 jobs. And it'd be nice if he told us that he couldn't make it here. I don't know what we're going to do without him.
What do you just shit on him normally? Is that the idea?
No, we're very nice to Jason.
I shit on him.
I let him live here for 6 months on this couch. Didn't make him pay rent. And it's funny, the day I kick him out, he doesn't show up to the show. We just kicked him out this week.
Oh,
Where's he
you didn't say
staying now?
that part.
Yeah.
Why'd you? Oh.
Hey, go on my Facebook page and look at the Bob Hawke clip.
I
This
think,
guy was the Prime Minister of Australia.
and this is what type of person they let run their country. He looks like,
He's pounding a bear.
yeah, he's about 85 years old and he's sculling a beer. That's kind of slow, though. Didn't he have the record, though, at one point? I think he had the record when he was younger for, like, the fastest.
84.
Yeah, but what was it? What was his
great.
record when he was younger? As he get
11 second for a yard class.
Oh, a yard. He did a yard in 11 seconds. I went to the Big Texan on the way to when I drove across country, and I stopped at the Big Texan where the 72-ounce steak is. Mm-hmm. And you got to eat the steak, you got to eat the baked potato, the shrimp cocktail, the salad, and the roll. And you have 1 hour to do it. Joey Chestnuts did it in 8 minutes.
Who was Joey Chestnut?
He's the world record holder of the hot
guy
dog
who
eating
ate the-
contest.
Oh, got it.
Those guys are all fucking skinny too, right?
Yeah.
Did
Like,
you?
Kobayashi.
How did you do?
I didn't do it. I watched a dude do it, and I was just like, I thought about doing it. I'm like, I'll be fucking sick for 3 days, and just like,
Yeah.
it'll just hurt.
I tried to eat a 2-pound burrito once, and that did not end well. It's fucking tough.
Jim could do it. Jim and Ben Glebe had an eating contest here, and Jim ate a 12-inch Subway in like a minute and a half or something. Like, as I've never seen anybody eat like Ben Glebe. Ben is. It's disgusting.
I'm trying to think of when I ate with him once, and it wasn't remarkable in any kind of way.
Oh
whatsoever.
no, it's not pretty when
I
he
ate
goes.
wings with him at Hooters not long ago. 2 months ago.
I pulled into a Wendy's drive-through with him, and he ordered fucking everything on. Like, I've never seen anybody go, and I'll get the mandarin oranges. like he was getting things you've never seen anyone get.
It's not on the menu.
And he just housed it, so he went up against Jim in a contest, and Jim just demolished him. But would you do the Big Texan? Would you try 72 ounces of steak?
Jim's shaking his head yes.
That's like six. That's about 6 big strip steaks.
Yeah, that's gross. I'm vegan anyway.
Are you really?
Yeah,
That explains a lot.
yeah, sure does.
Dude, I just learned Hitler was a fucking vegetarian.
Was he really?
Yeah. I didn't
I
know
want
that.
a new eating comp.
You want a new eating
You want another contest?
contest?
All right, we'll do the 72-ounce steak. We'll get one. Can you order them? See if Farside. See if we can order a 72-ounce steak. Yeah, it's disgusting. They put you on a table in the middle of the room and put a clock, and they ring a bell when you start, and there's a timer, and the whole room watches you.
How big is the salad?
Just like it's not that big, but the steak is. You don't understand what the steak looks like that soundboard. Right
No, I
there.
believe that. Yeah,
It's
it's fucking
fucking-
disgusting. Yeah.
I like.
How many? That's 4 pounds.
I had the petite.
72 ounces?
I had the petite fillet, and I was full. I was like, that's enough. No, 72 ounces would be what, like 6 pounds?
I'm not
14 ounces to a pound. So
16
thank you.
ounces.
16 ounces to a pound.
16,
So about
32, 48,
Fucking
7, 64,
4 pounds.
4
Wow, are we dumb?
I still use my fucking fingers.
How
How much is
long
it?
are you guys gonna be rolling? I want to go.
So how much is it? Like 5 pounds?
4 something.
Fuck. Nothing from Jason. Fucking this ruins everything. Chuck Martin wanted to pick on Jason so badly.
Does Chuck know him?
No, he's just heard about him and all he wants.
He was weird around my brother.
Yeah, he was.
Jason was super
well,
weird.
I saw him the next day after the show, and I said last week's show was the one with Scott. Jim's brother came to the show last night, and Jim's brother's famous on our podcast because he calls in. They hadn't spoken in like 4 years, and Scott started listening to our podcast, and it brought them back together.
What were you guys beefing about?
Nothing, just brother shit. And
Right.
I feel like I'm a translator for a deaf person.
No, it's fucking it's pretty hideous.
So this is really awkward. So so they didn't spoken for a while, and Scott then started listening to the podcast,
Right.
and he was like, "Now I want to come to LA. This is going to fulfill my dream in life." And he's like, "And when I get there, I want to punch Jason in the stomach." And he had this like hated Jason. So he came here. He was fine
He
with
was
Jason.
funny.
Yes, he was really fun.
And
A lot of people punch Jason in the stomach, by the way. It's kind of a thing.
It's a thing.
Got it.
Everybody punches him. So Scott punched him in the stomach, and not hard. Didn't even like Scott hurt his hand hitting him.
Right.
But Jason left here, like didn't want to talk to anyone. The next day, I see him out at the patch, and Jason's going, "I didn't even know what to do last night. You know, Jim and Scott were talking, and I didn't know how to get." And I go, "Jason, you sucked. You weren't funny. I'd ask you questions, and you would just go, ugh." And he goes, "I just didn't know what to do. You know, I've been real tough." Jason never works, like doesn't have a job.
Right.
And he's proud of it, too. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not something that
He's off the
embarrassed
grid. He doesn't pay
Yeah.
taxes. He doesn't have
Yeah.
credit cards.
He's a fucking hero.
Yeah. And he works for 3 days straight, and all of a sudden he's like, "You guys don't understand what it's like."
Yeah.
And so Ray snapped him. I think he's mad at you.
by. Why? What did you say to him, Ray?
Well, I mean, the funny thing was he kind of did that. He said, "Well, you guys don't know anything about my life," and I'm like, you know that I have a job that I work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then come here and do this. Plus, I do stuff behind the scenes and stuff like that. And I just got pissed. I said, "You gotta be fucking kidding me! Really? That's your excuse?" And I just kind of snapped. And I think he's pissed now because how dare I, get mad at him too?
Yeah.
He's just being a little bitch. He told me, I was like, "What's your fucking deal?" And he was like, "You didn't hang out with me over winter break at all." And I was like,
He's
Lazy white nigger.
Winner.
He's also been doing tons of mushrooms lately.
Yeah, I think his
Also,
his-
winter break, like winter break from what? From the podcast?
Just like no, yeah, I mean like over Christmas, I live like a mile away from here, and he called me a couple times, and I was busy and couldn't hang out, and so he was like, "I don't think you like me. You don't want to hang out with me," and I'm just like,
Do you have that guy in your life, Neil, that like when you like you have a schedule and when you like have absolutely nothing to do, there's always that one person that
You
can
don't
call?
like him.
That was directed towards Jesse.
yeah.
He calls Jesse the Jew, and but like that one guy where he'll always be around to do something. Like, hey, you want to go to Taco Bell? Well, he's there.
I'm such a fucking loner that I no longer have that.
Really?
Like most people, I didn't keep in close enough touch to call upon them. I'm always like, I'm mad when people aren't available. We're like, what the fuck?
Jason's our guy though. That any one of us, Jim, me, if you're like sitting around and you're bored, you're like, oh, I'll call Jason. He'll play a video game with me. I'll call
yeah.
Jason. He'll go to get food,
Yeah.
and he's always available to us. And this is just so awkward that he's not. He's available 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So this is like a shock to us all.
Yeah.
that we
No,
don't.
I believe that.
This would be like if he died. It's kind of nice. It is a little nice. Wait, I was talking to James Smith last night.
Whoa.
Oh, how is James Smith?
He's
think
doing
that was a
well.
hooray.
He said to say hello, and he is. He told me to ask you. He said you met the president, and I wanted to hear about that.
I sure did. Is James okay?
Yeah, yeah,
Is he doing stand up or he's still
yeah.
dead?
He's down in Australia. He's coming back soon. He's but he's told me to. He wants to. He wants
Yeah.
to. He said you met the president.
I did. Are we doing? I haven't listened to the podcast, so I don't know the format. Am I just telling
Yeah,
tales?
don't worry. We can. Yeah, we have no format. This show
Okay.
has no rules.
No, I have listened to it, and it's just you guys. It's just arguing amongst.
Constantly.
Yeah, just like fuck. Where's the pizza? Fuck you. You didn't fucking bring the pizza.
That's pretty much.
Fucking, you're an idiot. What? You guys are being mean.
That's pretty much the show.
we're looking for a new name. We'll just call it "Where's the Pizza?"
Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys regret putting a shit in the title?
Oh my god, it has been the biggest nightmare fucking ever. We
Yeah.
got removed from iTunes 3 times.
For having the word shit in
Yeah,
there.
so then we changed it to Talking *T.
Right.
Then they banned us for that. Then we changed it. Now it's Talking's Hit.
What does Marin do?
WTF?
It's just called WTF.
Yeah.
Got it. Anyhow, there I was with the president. No, I'm buddies with Seth Meyers, and he was doing that correspondence dinner.
Yeah.
And so I wrote a bunch of jokes with him, and me and him, and this guy John Mulaney, who's a really good comic. Got him Alex Bays, who writes for Seth on Update. A couple of Fallon guys, Eric Legend and Jeremy Bronson. So we all wrote jokes. Then we go down to D.C. for the correspondence dinner. The day before, we went to the White House and just got like a tour,
Yeah.
empty, but
like a VIP tour.
yeah, like in the West Wing, like no one else. Like
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like the dog. Like we all petted the dog.
Wow.
Like it was
Like not the tour of the tourist.
No, I don't think so.
How is Michelle?
He's talking about
It's
the
not
dog.
talking about the dog.
That's
like-
like Jay Moore went on that tour. Did you ever hear Jay's story about that?
No.
He did the same fucking thing. They went out. I'm doing Jay's podcast next week, but he goes up to the security guy and he goes, "Hey, it was in Clinton was in office." He goes, "Is Chelsea here?" And they're like, "Huh?" He's like, "I'm Jay Moore, movie star Jay Moore." He goes, "I'm Chelsea's."
Movie, you know I'm a movie star because I'm at the DC Improv.
He goes,
You may have heard me doing radio this morning at 6:45.
He
Like
goes,
a movie star.
He goes, "I'm Chelsea's favorite actor." She always mentions that I'm her favorite actor, just pulling it out of his ass. And they're like, "Oh, really?" So they go and get Chelsea. They're like, "Oh, your favorite actor, Jay Moore's here." And he's just completely made it up. They said Chelsea comes down and gives them a tour of the White House. But he said the whole time he thinks Chelsea didn't even know who Jay was.
That's great.
But she was like, "All right, I better give the tour."
So we went. So then we do the tour, and then we go into the West Wing.
And it was empty. There was no
Empty,
no
yeah.
one was working.
No, it was Friday. I guess. Well, there was no one in the West Wing. People were working, but like the cabinet and Obama.
Did you need like no security whatsoever? Like they didn't.
No, we gave like our social security numbers months before.
Oh, okay, background check.
Yeah, and so we go into the Oval Office. Like they're like, hey, you want to go?
You went
to the Oval?
into the
Yeah.
not like the room before the Oval
No,
Office.
the Oval
You have a
Office.
Holy
spider on
fuck.
your
They made
microphone.
us like turn our phones off. That
That was
was
spider on your microphone.
If it's Australian, we're all gonna die.
on to me. Where's the pizza, man? You guys, fucking Hoover got the pizza.
Eat it, you vegan.
Say it again. Say it again.
Eat it, you vegan.
Oh, eat it, you vegan. I think it was well worth the wait.
This is killing Jim.
No, I know. It's like a fucking.
This would be torturous.
This is like
Look at him. He's gonna cry. We all
Christopher Reeves would come off as more witty than you. Right?
we
Go to the Oval Office. We're in there. There's like a you see like the Oval Office, like the part you see, like the desk, and then there's on the other side there's like a coffee table and like 2 love seats.
right.
And on the coffee table they had like a bowl of apples.
Please tell me you ate one.
Yeah. Someone goes, are those apples real? Like Seth's mom or something. The woman's like, yeah, would you like one? I'm like, yeah, I'm taxpayer. Let's go. So I'm eating an apple, and then on the
No
wall.
watermelon.
Also, I'd like to point out that as Jim is doing these jokes, he's mouthing it with Anonymous, adding to the absolute creepiness. Like he's like, oh, this is going to work. No watermelon. And he's like, mouthing no watermelon with the fucking awful. It's awful. You should have your shirt off just to fucking add insult to injury. Yeah. Okay, so I'm eating an apple. They have on the wall the original copy of the Emancipation Proclamation.
Oh wow.
So I'm eating an
the
apple.
original.
Yeah, eating an apple, reading the Emancipation Proclamation. Like this, it was fucking crazy. The joke I made is that like he has the Emancipation Proclamation in case the Tea Party's like, we don't think you're free. And then the next day we go to
Raid time.
fucking shut up. I've never told a computer to shut up. So then the next day the correspondence dinner is at it's in our hotel at the Hilton.
So you didn't.
Downstairs.
He didn't come down to the office that day.
No, he wasn't there. But the next day, before the correspondence dinner, we all were like packed into this room, like a cocktail reception, and it's a small room. It's not a big room. It's like a fucking where they would keep the Danish. It's like the fucking business center kind of like small, not a big room. 100 people in there, and it's like pretty. It's all journalists, and then like Zach Galifianakis, John Hamm. And then like Sean Penn, Rupert Murdoch, just the weirdest bunch of fucking people you've ever
Like the opposite
together.
of the Bilderbergers.
Yeah, exactly. Like if it's like, oh, it's the Bilderbergs, all that shit. And it's like, and no, I've been in the room. It's fucking Zach was there. Like David Remnick, the editor of the New Yorker. It's like open bar, whatever. Everybody's, and then at a certain point, the president, first lady come in and they like shut the doors, and then they put the Obamas behind a red velvet rope. And then you had to know somebody. You had to know the promoter. Kidding. And then one at a time we go up and introduce ourselves. So there's 100 people in the room. They're behind red velvet ropes, and all these like well-to-do millionaires, fucking billionaires, actors, celebrities, writers, journalists. We're supposed to line up in an orderly fashion. It's just basically a bump. Like everyone, when everyone's just leaning into into a bottleneck. So we're all just leaning into this bottleneck.
Just to get that handshake.
Just to fucking like, I am not going to get excluded from this. And so we get, and then we're all like.
It's like rich people at the end of a party when they have the goodie
gift
bag.
basket. That's exactly right.
Yeah,
That's exactly
I'll
right.
never understand that.
Yeah. It's like that, except you get to meet the president, you piece of shit.
Did you ask him to be on your podcast?
No, he could be on there.
He's happy.
So what happens is one at a time, and we're all like, "Hey, what do we call him?" John Hamm's like, "What do we call Michelle?" I'm like, "I don't know." Then it was like, "What do we call Michelle?"
Yeah, what do you call her, Mrs. President?
I think Madam First Lady, but we didn't. Whatever. So anyway, it's my turn, and I knew that Michelle liked Chappelle's show because. Before he ran for president, Charlie Murphy and Donnell had seen Barack at an airport, and we're like, "Hey, we're from," and he was like, "Oh, my wife loves your show." So it was my turn to go up, and I go, "Hey, man."
You used what you had.
Yeah, literally, I go, "Hey, man." I'm like, I finally used Chappelle Show to my advantage. I go, "Hey, man, my name's Neil Brennan. I created Chappelle Show with Dave Chappelle." And he's like, "Oh, man, we love that show. In fact, that's got to be considered one of the greatest shows of all time." I was like,
Oh.
"All right, that's pretty sweet." and he goes, "Michelle, this guy created Chappelle Show with Dave Chappelle." And
You did pretty good, Obama.
yeah, and then Michelle goes, "We were so upset when it went off the air." And I go, "How do you think I felt?" So I think I got a genuine laugh, and then we take a picture together. And for some reason, I was thinking that I'd get a bunch of shots at this picture, so I'm just talking the whole time. And I go, "This is also weird, man." I go, "Do you ever get used to this?" And he goes, "Nope." and he goes, "But I can't just up and retire like Dave Chappelle did." I swear to
Wow.
God. Yeah. fucking
Wow.
blind. Yeah. And as I walked away, I go, "Yeah, don't go to Africa." I swear to God, it was fucking awesome.
When was this that you went?
May. It was
Okay.
Bin Laden Eve. It was the night before Bin Laden.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
like, he was
right.
hanging with you.
That's
and
that's what
the next
people
night
don't
he's going shoot.
understand. That no, the night he knew the hit was on. That day he had gone to Alabama to look at the tornado damage. Then he went to Cape Canaveral, saw Gabby Giffords for the first time, gave a commencement address in Miami. Then he comes back to DC. He's got to take pictures with people for an hour. Then he's got to do stand up.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
he has a hit out of Bin Laden.
Yeah.
So you just go, when people are like, "He's a little too cool." No, that's about the right amount of cool. Like, he's a fucking,
That's-
he's
that-
got a world-class brain.
That's
guy.
what always gets me upset when people like criticize the president and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, he's doing this, he's doing." And I'm like, "Fuck you! You can't even return your videos to Blockbuster on
Yeah.
time." And this guy, the shit he has to go through in
Yeah.
20 minutes is more than you do in a lifetime.
Yeah, he's a very impressive guy.
It's just but not to try to one up your story, but
I'm gonna go,
but
but it sounds like if I've heard
But
it.
when I
I-
was in Pittsburgh over Christmas break, I was in a dive bar and the mayor came in. The mayor came in, like the mayor of Pittsburgh, which is a joke. He was 26 years old when he was elected mayor, and it was like this perfect storm of fuck ups that happened. He was on city council in like this shitty district, and then the mayor dropped dead, and then the next guy in line like died. And this kid, Luke Ravenstall, becomes mayor. And he was the youngest. There he is with Snoop Dogg. He was the youngest mayor of all time. And he, like, Letterman had him on. And so, like, a couple months ago, I did a charity event for Beth Stern, Howard's wife. And the mayor was at the event, and I was bombing because everyone was standing, and it was just.
And you were doing your act.
Yeah, exactly. And
Bang, bang! I met the fucking president.
Rich
It's
Voss
jokes
is
like
here.
that fucking got me.
Rich Voss, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So I all I could do was make fun of him, and that's how I climbed out of my hole. Was just going, "Hey, the mayor's here," like just joking.
Was this in New York or in Pittsburgh?
This was in Pittsburgh. So I see him at this dive bar, and I'm like, "Fuck, it's the mayor." So I go up to him. I'm like, "Hey, mayor, it's Eddie Ift. Remember I did that show?" And he goes, "Yeah," like trying to get away from me. And I'm like, "Remember I was the comedian?" And he's like, "Yeah. Oh, okay." And then he goes off. He's got the fucking hottest chick I've ever seen. He's
Pittsburgh hot or actual hot?
Pittsburgh hot, so hot, that dirty, cheesy hot. Like fucking not day shift stripper, like hot. The fucking strippers that go far in life.
Right.
And
She could go national.
yeah, she could be a Spearmint Rhino Vegas one.
Right.
And this is the mayor, and I'm like, isn't he married? And my brother's like, nah, they got divorced. But I'm like, let's take some pictures. And he was hanging out with the shadiest bunch of dudes I've ever seen. And I'm like, these are guys I knew in like high school and stuff that, like doing coke with them and stuff. And there's the mayor. And I'm like, this is fucking good. I gotta get some pictures with this guy. So I went up and said, can I get a picture? And his security guy went, no pictures in the bar. And I was like, Obama takes pictures with Neil Brennan. Why can't I get a picture with the mayor?
Who?
His security would not let me get a picture with him.
Do you know who writes the jokes for Obama for that?
The jokes that year were a buddy of mine who writes for Obama, who writes his speeches.
Oh, okay.
Used to be an open micer. in New York.
Who's that?
This guy named John Lovett, and then he
Not
he
the
was
same John Lovett.
no a John Lovett. He was doing like bringer shows in New York, and he was getting to the point where he was either going to have to. He had run out of friends to bring, and someone was like, "Hey, Hillary's looking for a writer," so he wrote a couple speeches, and then became like a speechwriter.
So he was a serious speechwriter, but he also writes the jokes.
Yeah, and then Judd Apatow wrote a joke, and I guess got it to him somehow. But yeah, they did the sketches.
funny.
I
He
guess,
was fucking great.
But
They
I
had
guess
a good
when-
sketch, like it was funny.
I guess when you're the president, you can call anyone you want.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't think he'd be like. I don't think he would know. He didn't call Judd. Judd just thought of a joke.
But my point is, who's going to say no?
Nobody. But it's a matter. But it's not like Obama is gonna be like, you know who'd be good? That Bruce Valanche. Like he doesn't know who the fuck.
No,
to call.
but he probably has some assistant that does know. And
Yeah,
they-
but George Bush wasn't fucking funny when he did it. I mean,
George Bush was pretty funny as a guy. He was a.
But I mean, like not in terms of like set up punchline.
His foreign
jokes.
policy was hilarious.
Speaking of which, I'm driving across country for Christmas. I went home and we're stopping in Dallas, and I'm at my buddy lives in.
Is
Georgia.
this story better or worse than the Pittsburgh mayor story? Just to let me.
Wow, Neil. Jeez.
Whose podcast is it? Am I
Yeah,
right, ladies?
seriously. I'm gonna
I really stepped it up since it gal.
I'm gonna
got in.
blackface it up and come on your podcast.
I like it.
So we're in Dallas, and I go.
Nothing is better than that story.
And again, Jim did mouth along with it. He mouthed along with "Nothing is better than that."
Well, you can
story.
talk at midnight, Jim, or when is the? No, fuck it. He doesn't want to tell us.
Are you spraying your throat at all? Yeah.
With cum.
Yes. Yeah. Emphatic yes.
But my buddy lives in George Bush's neighborhood, the George Bush GW.
Junior. GW.
And I just Googled his address. I go, where's he live? He goes, I don't know. It's somewhere around here. I know he lives in the neighborhood. I Googled it. Boom. There's his address right on the internet.
Yeah.
And we drive over to his house, and they do actually have, it's like the only gated street in the neighborhood. So they have it gated. And he was like, oh, yeah, it didn't used to be gated. You could drive right down and just look at his house and.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's a far fall from president to former president. It's like you go from like a team of guys to one or two guys.
They've got to
His
have.
last house was easy to find.
It's got no. He has to
Jim
have.
did not mouth along, but he did a bit of like a Milton Berle take as it came. out.
Wait. Can you get on a microphone and can we find out? Can we find?
Hey, nice to meet you.
Can,
How are
can
you?
we
My
find
hands
out?
are
No, get on
freezing.
the phone. Get on the microphone.
What?
Where are you
Yes.
going? What, Lily? You just walked in
Yeah.
and now you're leaving.
Gotta go.
Where are you going?
Miami.
Why?
Friends.
What do you mean,
Party,
friends?
fun, away from Rape Cottage.
Why don't you want to? Are you upset with us?
No, not at all. No, I love you guys. I wanted to be here earlier, but I was packing and I had to work.
Is Lindsay upset with us?
You
you-
look
I don't
nice,
talk to
you
Lindsay.
hairy troll.
What did he say?
He said you look nice, you hairy troll.
Thanks, Jim.
Did Lindsay?
You fuckface.
Are you and Lindsay in a fight?
No, we're just not real friends.
You're not friends at all.
No.
Now Jason didn't show up.
I know, I see that. I'm really shocked.
Have you talked to him?
I haven't.
Wow.
Guys get upset when girls aren't friends. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense.
Oh, I
to
know
me.
what you mean, Neil.
Somehow, like I don't understand what. Like, what do you mean you're not friends? Aren't all women? It's very. I feel very tense. when
Everybody
we're
in
not.
this room gets along very well, except for her and Lindsay. And Lindsay's not here right now, and they kind of
We
had it
just
out
don't
last
have
week.
a relationship.
You don't
and
have any chemistry.
no chemistry and no, just a lot of friction, I
Well,
guess. is
tell him
what
why.
it is.
Tell him why.
Kiss.
Because Eddie likes to put us head to head and make us hate each other.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. You just got mad because we brought Lindsay back.
Without telling me.
Did I not say?
I just don't feel like they value my opinion in any way.
We-
What is
don't.
your role on the show?
I do
Good
all
question,
the photography.
Neil.
Excuse me, I do all the photography. I brought video. I do videos for the show. I do a lot for the show. I help production.
Do
I
we
help
You're in
have
Eddie.
to
charge.
tell you?
You're in.
What? What is that for?
He said, "Do we have to tell you? Like, do we have to tell you that Lindsay was coming back?
It would have been nice.
Why?
Because I've been working on the show, so it would have been nice to know.
Did we tell any of you that Lindsay was coming back? No. So there.
Came back from
Suck it,
what?
Nate.
She was here one time. and
Lindsay
then-
Fuck a
Relax.
nigger.
What the fuck? I can't hear anything Jim says.
Oh, you don't have headphones on. She doesn't have headphones on. Say some
All
more
right.
stuff. Say some more stuff.
you guys.
Wait,
I gotta
wait,
go.
don't leave yet.
I'm leaving.
You don't have headphones on.
I know.
Stay here. Stay here.
Astute observation, Eddie.
You have not had one word with Jason's obsessed with Lilith and in love with her and tries to rape her constantly.
Maybe.
You haven't talked to him once. Really awkward.
I don't really talk to him much anymore.
Aren't you worried that he's like hanging from a noose
I
somewhere?
don't really talk to Jim anymore. No, I'm not. He has a house. He has an apartment. He's living with Matt
Not
Devlin.
really.
Do you have a house?
I have an apartment
Great.
on the other side of the street.
I have a townhouse.
Yeah, Neil lives a
Maybe.
block away.
Do you?
You single, Neil?
We should be friends.
sure am.
We should be
So
close
is Lilith.
friends.
Yeah.
Lilith's slutty too. She hasn't had sex in
Only in bed.
how,
Yes.
how long since you've had sex?
2 months. But I'm
you-
hoping to have a lot of sex in Miami.
Really?
Yes.
Will you take pictures for us?
I will.
right.
My friends are lesbians, so I'm going to be hanging out with lesbians.
That sounds so unfun. You take it.
They're
you,
hot lesbians.
You take it like it would. If you were reluctant about it, it would be so hot. But because you volunteer it, it's like
Oh, what, the
It's just-
lesbian thing?
Yeah.
Or being slutty, yeah.
yeah.
I don't mean it in a slutty way, though. I'm just saying, experientially, that's my crowd. All right. Thanks, guys. It was fun.
Have fun in
Have
my.
a wonderful night.
Hope your plane doesn't crash.
Thanks.
I said I hope it
That's all
doesn't
I'm
It
crash.
gonna
really does. Yeah.
I need a Xanax. All right. Bye.
Bye, Lily.
Bye, Lilith. Have fun in Miami. Oh wait, how come Jim gets a kiss and I get a fuck you?
Yeah.
I don't want a kiss. Ow!
Ow.
She just fucking kicked me.
Bye.
All of you.
By the way,
Even me?
Yeah.
Even me?
Neil, I think she was vibing.
She loves
Yeah.
me.
yeah.
You could bang her, definitely.
Yep.
We'll make it happen.
Yep.
It's nice to have a girl in the neighborhood really close that you just call like 2 a.m. Like
Yeah,
there's
no, is it? Would that
no-
be nice for me?
Nothing else to do.
I've never been a guy before. Would that be nice? Would that be a fucking good thing to have?
Oh, fine then. You don't get her now. I'm gonna keep Jason's meaty.
She's a
paws on her.
psychologist, or she's psychologist.
She's a psychiatrist.
Tell us more,
Psychiatry.
Eddie.
no.
Jim really went pretty hard on the gesticulation. Like he really gave us like a tell us more, Eddie. Like a real fucking
I
both
feel like
arms
Jim's
up in
doing
the air.
Charlie Chaplin shit at this point.
Yeah. Mr. Bean.
Yeah, she's crazy. Absolutely insane.
What kind of crazy?
She's a therapist. She
Full time?
Yes.
But she's not a she's not a doctor though, so she's a
No,
psychologist.
but she's a psychologist and she has anything to do with this.
This show, we've
Yes.
had her making out with girls on the floor. We've had her sucking strippers' tits. We've had her. Did we ever show her?
strip poker.
Oh, we played strip poker. Got her completely naked.
Great.
And one of her clients listened to the podcast. The house is called the Rape Cottage.
Yeah. Did the client drop her?
The client was.
It
like,
wasn't the guy who posted that video. It wasn't the guy who posted, wasn't Mike White. Was
Mike
it?
White needs her, but
Killed herself.
Dead straight, by the way. The way Jim, as he said, killed himself. He's just
no, the girl.
dead eyes, nodding up and down.
I asked her actually. I said, "What did you tell your client?" Because I guess the client was like, probably shouldn't talk about this, but the client was like an abuse victim or something.
Right.
And she's on a show called The Rape Cottage, and Jim's terrorized. She goes, "I just had to explain to her that this is real life, and that's just a character I play."
She's like Doctor. She wants to be like Dr. Drew, famous entertainment psychologist.
Dr. Drew would not
Dr.
walk into The Rape Cottage.
Yeah, no, I don't
Dude,
think
he was fucking promoting the lap band. I'm sorry, but that was.
Was
that
he really?
Yeah.
Dr. Drew has no scruples whatsoever. He's really. I used to love that dude, and talk about like it just to like ugh. Is that what you're really like? Fucking
I
Stanhope.
get along with Dr. Drew.
No, he seems like a nice guy. You know what? I used to like him. Now I think he's the kind of a morally bankrupt piece of shit.
I only
Stanhope does a bit about him that's excellent.
I only met him once, and I met him at a VH1 party, and he seemed like a nice guy. However, like it seems like he can't say no
Yeah.
Like he does every TV show that comes down the fucking pipe. He'll do anything, take anything, and it's like, don't you have enough money?
He's married with kids too, because he must never see them.
And apparently,
He has an addiction.
narcissistic complex.
Yeah.
It might be narcissistic
Yeah, it's
disorder,
NPD.
but because he is also, he's got to have work done. You see his face like gets better as he gets older. He's gonna, like 5 years from now, he's gonna look like Carrot Top. He's just gonna, because he also looks like he's in really good shape.
Is he married with children or no?
Look at
Yeah, I
him, he's
believe
all
he is.
tan and fucking good looking.
Yeah, he must work 90 hours a week.
Yep.
But fucking the compassion this guy has.
Oh, there it is. Is that a before and after of him losing like lots of weight? Oh no,
No,
that's
it's a
somebody
joke.
fat.
He's never been
It's a
fat.
fat. He did the Tyra Banks thing.
No, he couldn't be fat because he's perfect. You know, if you ever listen to him talk, it's
Yeah.
like he's never done
Complete
any-
moral authority.
Yeah, he's never done anything wrong in his entire life. Everything he does, you'd be like, "What do you eat?" And he's like, "What do you think I eat?"
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Vegetables.
Well, exactly what you're supposed to eat.
Yeah, you're 100% right. He's like dead sober. He is the voice of sobriety.
Does he not drink at all? I remember.
No,
looking
what
at
I
the
mean
part-
is like he's just like,
Right, right.
I am even tempered. I'm sober. I know what the right thing to do is.
it's gonna be really funny if he ends up in rehab someday.
He said I masturbate too much because I'm sad.
He said that? Oh, he said you masturbate too much because you're sad. I thought he said that he was talking about himself.
He told
Is that
he
true?
told Jim on Love Lines. Yeah,
How often do you masturbate?
5 times a day.
Three times a day? Twice
2
a
to
day?
3 times.
How old are you?
32,
34.
34.
That's a good amount.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. I can't talk about his girlfriend.
But you're into like psychology. Don't you come from, aren't your parents psychologists? or
No, they are fucking crazy though.
Are they?
I remember being at the Improv with
Yeah.
you and Dov Davidoff, and you guys were talking about the Journal of Psychology or some shit like
Dove's mom is a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And Dove has done a lot of reading into psychiatry.
But none
himself.
of it has seeped in.
Dove's one of the craziest people I've ever met in my life.
Here's the thing about, I take everyone at face value and give people a lot of credit when I meet them. Like I just assume the best about people for the most part, which you wouldn't think I would because I come across as so cynical. But the longer I stick around, you have to know someone for 10 years before you even really know what they're like. Like the sample size of people is like, wait, you did what? Dove, the longer I know people, the sort of less reliable and less they just don't hold up, kind of.
I really like Dove.
Dove's a fucking great dude.
Yeah.
Like he's a great dude.
He's one of your best friends, right?
Yes.
And Dove, I used to play a little game because I hung around Dove in New York a little bit, and I used to play a game when I would be hitting on girls and it wasn't working. I used to play a game with myself called What Would Dove Do?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
I would put myself in character and I would play Dove, and it always ended up working. I would get laid. I mean, sometimes I had to do some really fucked up shit, but it always worked. And I would be like, thanks, Dove. Like,
Yeah.
I just did what you would have done. And I saw Dove in Whole Foods about a couple months ago, and Dove was in that movie Invincible, and my girlfriend's dad was one of the characters in the movie. Was based on her dad because he played for the Eagles. And I'm trying to tell Dove that because I just met Vince Papale, who
Right.
the movie has been. And Dove just couldn't talk about anything other than the salad bar. And I'm like, Dove. And he's like, yeah. Where's the hot foods now? And I'm going, did they move this?
He has one of the worst cases of ADD I've ever seen.
And it's not fake.
No, it's not fake at all.
It's
He's
like-
got an awful case. Him, Artie Fuqua have two of the worst. They're both stellar comics. Have some of the worst ADD. And Dove doesn't know. He like peed. He like fairly recently. He was at a club somewhere. He was at maybe Foxwoods, the club at Foxwoods, doing the comedy club, and then he was in the VIP section of the club, and he was talking to a girl who was boring him. So he took a leak in a fucking plant, a potted plant, and then got kicked out. And he's like, I just didn't know what else to do. I was like, did you think that was a thing to do for a 37, 38-year-old man? Just like, I gotta fucking take a leak.
You could walk away.
Yeah.
Dove had a great story. When I moved into this house, I needed I bought a bed from someone, and I went to go get the bed, and I needed a truck to get it. And Dove goes, "Take my truck." And I go, "Okay." So I'm driving the truck, and he goes, "Don't fuck it up. It's not mine. It's David Lee Roth's."
Yeah.
So I'm driving. I go, what? He goes, yeah, I'm staying with David Lee Roth right now, and I'm borrowing his truck. So you're driving David Lee Roth's truck right now. And I'm like, I'm driving David Lee Roth. He's like, yeah. He's my buddy. We fly helicopters together, and fucking, he lives in my
David
place.
Lee Roth rented. Dove owned a building.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Jim Norton was making fun of Dove the other day, because like Dove's like comes across as like this skittish, like junkie. Yet he owns real estate. Like he owns incredibly valuable real estate that he like bought and like really knows about loans and fucking collateralized shit. But David Lee Roth rented the top floor of Dove's apartment building. Not like, I mean, it's a small, but Roth, as Dove calls him, slept in a tent on the roof. Even in the winter. David Lee Roth's a fucking we hung out one night and he's a fucking interesting guy.
He used to come down to the Comedy Cellar all the time to watch comedy, and I remember it's the only song I know how to play on the piano is Jump. It's the only song, and I was on stage and he was there, and every once in a while I would play it on the piano as I'd walk off stage, and I said, David Lee Roth's here, and the crowd didn't believe me. I was like, there he is, and he stood up and like he had the overalls on and everything.
Yeah.
And I said, can you come over? And I'm going to play and you sing. And he's like, no. And they're like, come on, get up there. And I played Jump. And he just went, go ahead and jump. And the crowd just went.
Did he sing or he said it?
No, because I only did the do, 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 do. And he went, jump. And the crowd just fucking, like, I had never felt that before in my life.
Oh, yeah.
It was like 15 years of comedy and David Lee Roth says one word and I get like, a better
jump.
cheer.
Well, yeah.
But you didn't meet the president.
Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you.
Do you have your picture of you and the president?
I do.
Do you have it with you?
Yeah, it's a fucking sweet picture because it's of the moment he's telling Michelle my credits.
Wow, you even wore the tux.
Yeah, you have to.
Oh. I just can't picture you.
It's a White House
That's just you and Dave.
Good timing, Anonymous.
Anonymous, that's the first. You fucking nailed it. Yeah, that's me and the president.
That's pretty interesting.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much.
Farside, have you ever met the president? No. Not even close?
I donated money to him, too. So it felt like, that's why I called him
did?
man. Because I was just like, I fucking donated money to your stupid fucking lying-ass campaign.
How much did you donate?
I don't want to talk about it.
Come on, let's hear. You're only allowed to give 1,000.
I didn't give that much.
Yeah. All right, so how much time will we done? Done an hour. Done an hour? But we're going to have to edit out a lot. No?
Not that much.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Like his whole president story.
Make sure the mayor story gets in.
By the way, Jim pointed at fucking the producer guy. Machete.
You know what I love?
Like,
Jim's childlike now with his because he can't speak.
Yeah. It's like watching a fucking silent film where like you'll make a gesture and then text will come up. Make sure the thing gets in, and you're fucking not saying anything.
Remember we got in the fight at the Laugh Factory?
Oh yeah, we had an argument because you said something. I just hate. I hate that when comics, unless we're wearing something egregious, the idea of constantly making fun of each other's appearance or shoes or hair or. We could constantly be doing it to each other all the time.
Right.
And you were doing it to me, and I was just like, shut up.
I think I caught you on a bad night. Though.
No. You were telling you're wearing a deep V. And I was like, it's not a deep V, it's a V-neck. You're like, no, that's a deep V. With real authority. I was like, just shut the fuck up.
What's with the hat, Neil?
No, fine. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take it from a computer.
But you like snapped on me. I talked to your brother. I'm like, Neil, I go, your brother just got fucking so angry. He snapped at me. And your brother goes, punch him in the face.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's exactly what my brother would say about me, too. He'd
Yeah.
go, punch him in the face. I'm like, no, you're not going to stick up for your brother? He goes, no.
No, Kevin doesn't stick up.
Not
Kevin
at all?
hates me. I mean, he doesn't hate me, but he did for a while.
If you're listening right now, Neil's brother's Kevin, who was in episode 27. It's the famous episode 27 that it never aired. It aired for like a night, and then we pulled it down because it was like...
Got it. Yeah, no, he wasn't. He's mad at me. He won't talk to me like Jim's brother. He won't talk to me. And the thing that brought us together was he needed a place to stay in LA. And
so
he
Kevin.
finally saw things slightly from that I had a point of view about things. And so he bridged the gap.
But once he gets his own place, he's going to pull a Jason.
No, he has his own place, and I absolutely haven't heard from him.
But he told me he's going to move out here. Is he coming?
No,
out?
he is here. Yeah.
Oh, he is.
Yeah,
Oh, thanks.
I saw him the other night. I took him to a Clippers game.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Thanks for calling me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So
Who does
I
your
was.
mom like more?
I think my mom likes me way more.
really?
Yeah. Because I'm doing good in show business.
And Kevin's crabby.
Kevin's a very crabby guy, and my mother actually just admitted that we're one of 10 kids.
Yeah.
There's 10 of us. My mother just admitted that that's too many kids.
Only 3 of you were wanted.
That's too many kids to love properly. She admitted that, and then she admitted that our father didn't love us at all.
Jesus.
Which you would think like that's damning, but I was like it was one of these things. It's like I fucking knew it. I knew it. It was just confirmation of something that I knew all. It was like dealing with a Holocaust denier who was like, you know what, it happened.
How did that come out though? That your
I
mom just
fucking
went.
pressed her. Because the family.
Say it, Mom.
No, the family's like half of us don't talk to her, half of us don't talk to her dad. Like it's just a mess. It's a real mess.
Fuck.
So I
Jeez, I
finally
thought Jim's life was tough.
No, I finally
My dad loves you.
that was the intonation was all off on that.
Wait.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, I did it, but like I took my mom to the Emmys and shit. Like she was,
okay.
I've showbiz her.
Oh, I got it. And
yeah.
that's how
I
your mom
said
is.
she was so happy to be at the Emmys. I'm pretty sure I could have fucked her.
That's the funniest thing you've said.
She does not need 11 kids.
Thanks. I like how Jim. Eddie's still trying to figure out if I'm funny or not. Like, let's see. Wait, let's see. You've said 17 things, 13 of which were funny. So yeah, I guess you're funny, even though you've grossly outachieved me in comedy. Anyhow, yeah, I'll let you pass.
Question. Or did you ever hear your brother's story about how he told the cop to fuck off when he got pulled over?
Yeah, and then he knew, and then the cop knew him or
Yeah,
something.
and then he took him to the show with him.
Yeah, these are all cute stories if you're not if you like don't have to deal with repercussions. You know what I mean? Like if it's cute as long as he doesn't then the same thing that makes him do that is the same thing that won't talk to me for 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting spots in LA. That's why because I was getting stand-up spots.
That's why
and he
he's
was saying
mad at
I'm
you.
not a real comedian. I'm getting spots because of my credits, and it was like, okay, cool.
He he tortured me for like my first few years in New York, and I'd always open for him, and he'd take me out one night. He took me to a strip club, and it was on 4th of July, and we were like the only.
Kevin used to go to a strip club, and he would jizz in his pants from one dancer.
Good for him.
He actually said that, and I thought he was lying.
No, that's true. I remember the woman.
We went we went to the strip club, and on 4th of July, and we were like the only lonely souls in there on 4th of July because everybody else had a party. It's me and Kevin Brennan, and the stripper comes over, and she's like giving him a lap dance, and she goes away. Then another girl comes right over and goes, "Do you want a lap dance?" And he goes, "I just fucking jizzed in my pants." He goes, "Why would I want another one?" And
Was it the black girl?
No. But then another girl comes over and she's talking to us. And I go, "What do you do during the daytime?" And she goes, "I work at a massage parlor." And your brother goes, "Can't you fucking type?"
Yeah. It's a real trouble. That's, again, great. It's a great fucking attitude as long as it doesn't call you when the chips are down. Because that's a cute, when you go, you know why the chips are down, Kevin? Because you're a fucking dickhead who said shit like that to strippers. Kevin, we were waiting in line one time. We were at a huge. It was like a family get together, like my mother's birthday dinner or something. Like 12 of us, 13, 14 of us, and we're waiting for the party in front of us to finish with the table, like the one big table. Kevin goes up, starts clearing their table. just we're in the bar, Kevin just starts taking shit off their table. The candles, starts taking the candles away and their drinks and shit. And they snapped at him.
I was his broker out here for a little bit. He would call me and be like, I need an apartment in LA. And I'd be like, all right. He's like, where do I get one? I'm like, fucking Craigslist. I don't know. Go on fucking rental.com. And he'd go, okay, what I want is I want a 3-bedroom. I want 2 baths. I want it like close enough to the beach, but far enough. And then he's like, and I want it gated, and I want a doorman, and I want this, and I want that, and I want to pay $1,500 a month.
Yeah. 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 It's like the Barry Katz
And he's
gig.
like, get on that.
Yeah. No, I went to his house the other day. I met his daughter. His daughter's like 4. Never met her before.
Come on.
No.
You had never met her.
No, but he says funny shit to strippers. Huh?
I'll take that over meeting a daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
So had you met Scott's kids before? Oh, okay. I thought you and Scott hadn't talked in 4 years.
Hold on.
Here comes Anonymous.
Got something to say. Oh, this is the greatest.
Here it comes.
The kids are 8.
The kids are 8. They're 8
Oh, the
years
kids
old.
are 8. Okay, I didn't know. I thought they were younger.
Oh,
So
got it.
He hadn't spoken to them in like 4 years.
Got it. So you'd already met them.
Yeah. All right.
Again, worth the wait.
And Scott said that he leaves his kids with Jim, which
One time, me and Kevin were pitching it. This is 10 years ago. More than that. 12 years ago. We're pitching a sitcom for him, right?
Yeah.
That he and I would write together.
right.
Pitching a sitcom for him.
Is this after you wrote?
This is after Half Baked. So this
okay.
is like after Half Baked, whatever. I've got some credibility. So we go in and we're pitching a show again for him to be on. And I'm being engaging and charming in the meeting, funny, crowd worky, avuncular. And he's fucking moping the whole time. And the meeting ends up being like a victory of sorts, just purely based on my effort. And we walk out of the meeting and he goes, "Nice job, Sparkles." Yeah. Again, sitcom for him. And the writer is the sparkly one.
Oh.
Then we ended up maybe selling that sitcom. We sold 2 sitcoms in a row. All for him. And we're getting notes at HBO from some kind of executive. And I look and someone like I look over at Kevin. We're in a fucking giant boardroom meeting and giant table. I look over at Kevin and he's got his head slumped. He's slumped forward and his head is being propped up by a pen, which is stuck to the table. And I look over and he goes, "I'm so tired of this." It's in the middle of a fucking notes meeting with the studio.
He came to Australia a couple years ago, and they brought him down, and they had him on to do this big show where it's like he didn't have to draw an audience because they
Right.
didn't know who he was, but they bring this is like a big deal, and everyone comes to see this American comic that
Right.
they're bringing down. The whole place is packed, everyone's watching, and Kevin's doing well. And then all of a sudden, he does his cow tipping bit,
Right.
and then
Famous cow tipping
yeah.
bit.
And then he didn't do the cow tipping. He did a deer, something about
Right.
shooting a deer, hitting
Yeah.
a deer with his car. And it doesn't go over well. And he goes to the audience, "Oh, don't you have fucking deer here? Australia, you don't have fucking deer? All right, I'll change the fucking joke. It was a kangaroo. I hit a fucking kangaroo."
Standing ovation.
Yeah, no. They start to get mad. And he starts like pushing it. And then he'd be like, "You guys got cows?" And then every joke he told. So I'm putting food in the microwave. You got microwaves here? You guys got fucking microwaves? How about
He showed
that?
them. He's still showing everyone. One continent by continent. He's expanding the Kevin Brennan brand
Oh, I fucking love him.
through passive aggression and misplaced losing battles.
Well, I think
we did it. I think
we
we
got to
rounded out.
we got to round the show up because our next show is with Chuck Martin and Gene Pompa, and we need to really start before Gene drinks too much. Pompa.
Pompa.
Pompa. But Neil, thank you very much for coming.
Guys,
Thanks for
my
doing
pleasure.
the show. This is a very special day. This was the Todd Glass coming out day.
Yeah, no Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah, he fucking one-upped Martin Luther
Todd
King.
had a gay dream. He had a dream. A lot of dudes.
But
Neil, you got anything you want to promote?
Champs, you listen to the Champs podcast. Funny black dudes.
Moshe
Me,
jerked off
Moshe.
in that chair right there.
Literally jerked off.
Yeah, or not that chair. Where was Moshe sitting? Yeah, Moshe was sitting right there. He jerked off.
What, through his pants, or he took
No,
his dick
pants down. We all had our cocks out. Jason told us his first kiss story, and a circle jerk ensued. Jim,
out? Did you finish? Did everybody?
well, when he started talking about how it was at Christian camp, that's when I came, and then Moshe told us this like horrible story about fucking some girl at rehab, and then her like throwing a cigarette. on the ground.
He was like 13.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like 13, and it's like this like dirty, sexy story.
Yeah.
And then Jason follows it up with, "So I kissed this girl one time at Christian camp."
So you guys all took your dicks out?
Yeah.
Nice. Hey, look, makes sense. I get it. Nice job, Sparkle.
Yes, but thanks for coming. You've actually slept in the rape cottage too when Steve
Yeah, I
Byrne
have.
used to
Steve
live here.
Byrne let me stay here 5 years.
Yeah, Steve
7
was
years
really
ago.
good at lending out my house, my car, everything. People would be like, "Yeah, I'm coming to LA. I'm using your car," and I'd be like, "You are?" Yeah, Steve said it'd be fine. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, thanks, Steve.
Look, guys, I'm gonna get out of here.
No guest has ever excused himself like this.
I gotta go. Literally have shit I gotta do. But I like what you're doing here, and Jim, you should maybe do a podcast tomorrow when your fucking voice comes back.
Jim, anything to
Thanks,
say?
Neil.
And he gave retard face on that. He gave a real retard face.
All
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thanks for listening. Yeah, that's it.
Talking shit.